So I'm not going to show a lot of screens today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Helena's kind words and share a little of my story, but mostly how you can actually hopefully take what we call biotouch healing and use it for healing for yourself, for your family, for self-awareness, and even more importantly, to use it in order to put love into action. And just to start it off, BioTouch really is quite simple, and it's just using the index and the middle finger of your hand. If you show me that right now. Now, BioTouch is one person touching another lightly on the skin. Whoop, something has the rooms here.
Yeah, you can ignore that.
Lightly touching on the skin. So if you have somebody next to you, that's great. If you just have yourself, just take those two fingers and lightly touch on your arm like a butterfly landing on you. Now, because BioTouch is taught with one person touching another, if you don't have someone, I'm going to ask you to just touch lightly on your skin, but think of somebody doing that to you. Dead or alive, it doesn't matter. And then actually, if you have nobody next to you, as you're touching yourself, think that you're touching somebody else. Just that light butterfly-like touch. That's what we call BioTouch, okay? And we're going to relate this to you and hopefully give you the tools that you can actually begin practicing it today. There's no levels here. Everybody's effective the very first time they do it. The only thing that's required is that you're a human being. And if we're here on Zoom, then we're a human being right now. I'm going to relate it to our first sense when we are born is touch. That's an expression of love. I've been told the last sense that we have while we're dying, and I've experienced that before, is touch, an expression of love. And the greatest experience we can have in this lifetime is touch as an expression of love between one another. We're sentient beings. And so touch becomes vital in our expression to one another. I was always drawn to the quote by the Dalai Lama. He said, you know, if you want to understand the oneness of humanity, look at bodies. I thought, well, that's a good one. And I've experienced that teaching BioTouch around the world. You know, once you leave the body, then we have arguments of why we're here, why did we come here, what are we supposed to do while we're here, and what are we going to do when we die? But if you just relate to this body, and that's all we're going to do here for the next 30 minutes, of how I can best communicate with someone in what we're going to call the will to love. So we'll start just a short little story of when I was 5 years old. And you know, you have that birthday party and they light the candles. Before you blow the candles out, you're supposed to make a wish. And I wished that everybody could be happy, healthy, and loved. And then the weird thing is I felt very guilty. It's like, why am I not wishing for a bicycle? So I didn't quite understand that at 5 years old. But then life went on, right? And I won't go into too much more history with that. It's in the book too, in more detail. But in college, I had a meltdown, right? Yeah, total depression. They put me on every drug you could think of, shots of Valium. And then one day, some energy just moved me into the counselor's office. And I got this amazing counselor who spent quite a year or two with him. And finally, one day he turns to me, he leans forward, he puts his hand on my knee, and he says, you know, Paul, you have a lot of love to give. And that was like, I didn't need therapy anymore. I got rid of the drugs. It was like, it was just that simple. And so then at that time, I spent the next, well, it probably still goes on. You've all, I'm sure, met a hippie in your life. I was one of those, you know, this is back in the 60s, you know, and early 70s. And so here I flip out. The world has no answers to me. And so I go seeking. So I might be new to this group. I'm not new to the teachings because it was just one of the teachings of of all the different philosophers and following all the gurus and getting all the initiations and sitting cross-legged for hours and the diets and the this and the that, all looking for that love, you know. And of course, my greatest book was that Ram Dass book, Be Here Now. And at the end of it, it goes, ah. And that's what I said when I read that book. So I was seeking things, lived in communities, lived with 18 people in a 1,200 square foot house. Then we moved out onto the land, no running water, no electricity, no mailbox, and just did lots of study. You know, got up early, went to bed early, grew our own food, hung out with the local neighbors. Most of them were Mormons, and they loved us. I remember once one of the guys came down to the property, and we're all sitting there talking. And I remember a horsefly landed on him, and he slapped it. And then he turned to us and he went, "Oh, I'm sorry, I killed one of your friends." So those are the kinds of people that we were hanging out with. And after a while, we had to sell that property. That was 40 acres in the midst of hundreds of acres, living with the deer and the rattlesnakes and the hawks and the eagles. And it was a wonderful time of my life. But then we had to move into this little town called Mancos, Colorado. I don't know, anybody ever been to Mancos, Colorado? Anybody? Southwest Colorado, Mesa Verde National Park. Anyhow, it's all right there. And moved into this town of 900 people. Very conservative community. Southern Baptists, Mormons, cowboys, ranchers, lived there for generations. And then there was my wife and myself. We were the town hippies studying with this old man there, but we were well accepted. I had a big bushy beard at that time and a lot more hair with the ponytail. And the old timers would always claim they're going to get the sheep shears out, trim my beard. We used to run the produce section in the local market, and we tried selling alfalfa sprouts, but the locals told me, "Paul, don't you know alfalfa is only for horses?" That's the kind of town this was. And so we were well accepted in the town. And all of a sudden I get this back problem. This pain in my back goes down my leg and into my toes. Now, at that time of my life, of course, I had given up anybody that had a title. If you were a healer, if you were a guru, if you were CIA, FBI, IRS, I wasn't even signing my last name in those days. The town, and this is in the mid 80s, the town people heard that I had this back problem, and they told me of this guy who was living outside of town, and he was doing healing work. And I'm like, am I hearing this right? People talking about a healer, you know, in this very conservative community? Well, it turns out he was a mining engineer. He was there looking for gold and silver in the old mines. Didn't have a telephone. You just had to show up. He and his wife had this house outside of town. They told me where he lived, but I was very leery and skeptical of it. But I'm on the way to the dump one day, and after a year of this pain, I'm driving to the dump, and I see where they told me this guy lived. And as the story goes, the truck drove me up the hill, right? I had no control over it. And I get out of the truck, and of course, I ponytail, cut off jeans, flip-flops, and this guy comes out on the embankment. So I'm down here looking up. It's almost biblical. And this guy comes out on the embankment, and he, big burly guy, tight white t-shirt, rolled up sleeves, cigarettes in his sleeve, grooming clean. Remember where guys were grooming clean, a little dab will do you, you know, and he's there, and I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in the wrong place. But it turns out I wasn't. He said, "My name's Norman." And I said, "I have a back problem. Can you help?" And he said, "Oh yeah, sure. Come on up to the house." So we go up the stairs, open the sliding glass doors, and I'm inundated with smoke. Inundated with smoke. By the time I could see through the smoke, here's his wife, and she's pouring coffee for him and her. Turns out they're chain coffee drinkers and chain smokers from basically 6 a.m. till midnight. And I sat down at that table, and inside I'm like, this is impressive. I mean, there was no pretense of healing in this house. As I say, there was no whale music, no tingling cymbals, no incense burning. I mean, the soaps were playing on the TV set. There was cookies and cakes and coffee, in abundance. And then we just end up talking. I would call it gossip for 15, 20 minutes about all the things happening in the valley. Finally, he takes me into his bedroom. No special thing. He has me sit on the side of the bed. I remove my shirt. We touch right on the skin when we do it. And he goes and just washes his hands. And he comes out and he takes those 2 fingers I had you all do. And he touched 2 points, which I'll actually show you towards the end here on how to do what we call the greeting. And he touched me here below the breastbone. And then he touched me just to the left of that big bone with one hand. Then he took both hands and he started touching different points. And he had me lay on my tummy, touched some points on my back, touched me, different areas for about 20 minutes, I'll say. And very comfortable, very relaxed. All of a sudden, I hear the door open and close. He doesn't say he's done. So I wait around for a few minutes and finally I figure, well, he must be done. I put on my shirt, go back out there, and we start gossiping again. And finally I said to him, okay, what'd you do? He said, well, I just touched. And I said, well, okay, what should I expect? He said, I don't know, whatever. Okay, should I come back? If you want. No answers from this guy at all. And finally the kicker, of course, how much do I owe you? I mean, all healers have a price. And he said, oh, no, we don't charge. I'm like, what? Not only did they not charge, they discouraged people from leaving anything. So you'd find $5 under a pillow, a can of coffee under the bed, a pack of cigarettes dropped off here. People would bring food, and people would show up at all times of the day and night because there was no telephone. So people would show up at 3 a.m. in the morning with a migraine headache, and they would get up to work with these people, never asking for anything in return. And I'm like, well, this is pretty incredible. The short of the story for me was in 2 sessions, the pain was gone. Year worth of pain had completely vanished with just 2 sessions. But I was intrigued. Something was intriguing here. So I hung out with Norman and Carol, brought my wife Cheryl up at that time. And we just sort of hung out and watched people come and go. People came from all over the 4 corners. You had the indigenous community coming, you had cowboys, you had migrant farm workers, you had old-time ranchers, you had Christians, you had Baptists, you had Mormons, you had the few of us that were Jewish there, I mean, they used to call me the Jewish pacifist back in those days. And people were just all coming together because they had something in common. They were in pain, they were suffering, and they were afraid. It's a common denominator for all of us on the planet. No matter what our philosophy or our religion or belief, we're all here in this body and we're all trying to work with it to do the best we can for as long as we can. And as I hung out and I listened to stories of people feeling better, of how they felt about being touched there, one of the old timers finally came in and said to me, Paul, Norman and Carol brought love to the Mancos Valley. The light bulb went off, sparks went everywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, here it is. It's in this little town with this simple expression of touch. And I said to Norman and Carol, we need to get this out to the public. And up until then, he's been doing it since 1971. I met him in 88. And he's the one that came up with these points. He was at a friend's house. The woman of the house was hemorrhaging, beginning to have a miscarriage. And he very spontaneously said, I can help. He had no idea what he was talking about. But these points came to him, and he did touch this woman because they were all friends. And she stopped hemorrhaging and actually was able to carry the baby full term and have a healthy baby. Over the years after that, points would come to him. He would jot them down. And when I met him, they were all on scratch pieces of paper. So when I said, let's teach this to people, we did create a way to teach it which I'll show you here in a minute, and you can download some of the free workbooks we have. A way to teach it, a way that we could pass this on to humanity, and to do it in the same way that Norman and Carol did it back then, and that is on a donation basis. So we have a center here in Tucson, Arizona. You see Bev Wood here. She's the president of the organization, does an amazing job. And we still have all volunteer. None of us get paid for doing this. We have people all over the world learning to do this, and they create their own little business to supplement their own income. But they've all learned how to do very simple, what we call BioTouch healing. One of the things as we started to create the organization there in Tucson, which really sort of locked in what BioTouch is about, is we rented a hotel in town. So people would come from all over. They would stay for a week or 2 weeks. We would do touch with them. And we had classes in it, certification programs. And we were having a meeting one day with all these people, maybe 30 people in the room. And one old timer stands up and he says, you know, I'm an ex-CIA agent and I've been involved in a lot of revolutions, but I have never, ever seen as powerful as a revolution as what I'm seeing here in this hotel. And he says, because this one is based on love. And I was like, that's it. This is what I was wishing for when I was 5 years old. And here it was in this little town with touch. And it got rid of the distinctions and the barriers between belief systems or having to recommend to people or having to diagnose or having to do all kinds of gyrations in order to be what we call healers. Everybody has the ability to practice BioTouch. And I mean everybody. As you teach them to do this, they're immediately effective. It doesn't mean, as for myself, I've been doing this for 38 years. You know, people always ask me, well, are you feeling anything? Do you have any recommendations? And it's like, nah, I just touch. And if we can keep it at that level, then what we're creating is the ability, as Bev sent me from the Blue Books, the will to love means the love of the greater whole. BioTouch is about bringing love into action. And that doesn't take any belief system. It doesn't take any knowledge. It just means if you're a body on this planet, you have the ability to help someone and they have the ability to help you. So there are no levels, everybody's effective. And so we've done over the years, I'm on time. We've done over the years even some research with it. Something, I'm just going to show you a little 1-minute video. So why do we touch one another? I got this great little video. It's with this little ball, and it shows why we have to touch another human being on the skin. People always want to know, well, can I do it on myself? And but here's why we touch on the skin, and we have this little video that I'll show you. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. This is the reason that we touch on the skin. This is our scientific proof of why BioTouch is most effective to touch on the skin, okay? And this is a little ping pong ball.
Is there any way you can turn that volume up, Paul?
Two metal clips come out, okay? Now if I just touch the two ends of the clips, the ball lights up. Okay? Now, not a big deal. Okay, if you touch one of the clips, and I touch the other clip, and I touch on the skin, we hold hands, the ball lights up. Oh, you said, you ain't seen nothing yet. Touch that again. Now, interestingly enough, if I try to do energy work, right, and I do it off the body, we can't get the ball to light. If I touch through the clothes, I can't get the ball to light. But the minute we touch skin to skin, the ball lights. That's just the beginning. If everybody would hold hands all the way around the circle, no, you do not hear that. We're going to hold hands. All hold hands there. Sam's going to hold one of the tips. And then the minute I touch the other tip, the ball lights up. Now you break over there, Rick, and touch again.
It's so immediate.
Immediate. You can put 100 people in a circle, and the minute we all touch skin to skin, the ball will light up. That is our scientific proof of why we do BioTouch on the skin. Thank you very much. So it's just that simple, touching on the skin, touching another human being. And since that time, we've done lots of research. Gary Schwartz, I don't know if you've heard of him, here at the University of Arizona, done a lot of work with what they're calling energy medicine, energy healing. There's Dr. Stevenson, who just did a research project showing that with BioTouch, just the headset, this orbital frontal cortex goes in what's called coherence, which for most of us, as we're trying to do all of our daily work, there's 42 areas that usually are all in different vibrations. But when you're getting BioTouch, those 42 areas are all in this sort of wave-like motion. We've done pain, hormonal things. We actually have the greatest chart we have is this chart here, which I'll show you the page where you can download it too. This is Dr. Stevenson did some hormone therapies with postmenopausal women. What she found was everything on the top of this chart is all the stressors in our life. You can't do anything about it. If I leave this office and go out on the street, there's a stressor. You got economic stress, you got, the stress if I'm not doing my practices correctly. All these stressors create what she calls chronic stress, and that creates immune dysregulation and cortisol dysregulation. Those are what helps us. With those deregulations, we get dementia, cardiovascular disease, tumors, obesity, all of our different diseases. And because of chronic stress, what she found in her research is if you put BioTouch into that stress cycle, you improve circadian pattern of cortisol release, and you improve what's called interleukin 12, which improves our immune system function, increases activity of genes that fight infection and cancer, and promote healthy aging. So if that's all we're doing, if BioTouch is only helping with our stress levels, helping us with healthy aging, what more can we ask? With something so simple that it may be if you did 3 to 5 minutes today. Bev and I have a weekly show we do, and we're always saying, aren't we worth 30 seconds out of our day or a minute out of our day to touch someone or have them touch us? Imagine taking this into with the children. Imagine saying to the little ones, hey, can you help grandma with her headache? Can you help grandma with her sinuses? Can you help daddy with this or that? Imagine bringing this to the children, to the families. That's really about putting love into action. To pass this on. This is not something we own. This is something we're trying to pass on to other people. So Dr. Schwartz, in that book that Helena was showing, he goes on to say, BioTouch describes the kind of love that fosters a high level of love, expressed as empathy, compassion, caring, kindness, gentleness, protection, safety, warmth, gratitude, appreciation, and respect. It is love that uplifts both giver and receiver. He goes on to say, hopefully this book will fill you with the wonder of what is possible for ourselves, our loved ones, humanity, and even nature as a whole. And so I created this little ditty here at the end. I said, I once wished everyone could be happy, healthy, and loved. Today, I don't see that as a wish. I see it as something already present. Maybe the will to love is not something we need to find. Maybe it's something that has been quietly waiting for us to just say yes. So that's a little bit, I can't remember how much time I have here. Somebody want to help me? I'll open to questions, and I'll also post some of these things. Let me show you the one page that I'm going to post here that gives you, this is a page I'll post here in the comments that you can come to. It's about stress, anxiety, and relief. It has the little chart I just showed you, and it has numerous things that you can download. You can download this free workbook on stress and anxiety. And what a workbook is very simply how we teach the points. And so it comes with a little beginning. What is BioTouch? About washing your hands, using your fingers. terms that aren't necessarily important to memorize or even know, but then we get right into it. And this is the greeting. This is the thing I told you about that is the key to the system. That if you just did this and had somebody do it to you, you're starting a healing process. And this is only done with one hand. We'll take a minute to do this. 50, 30.
Paul,
30.
you have more than 15 minutes, so you're good.
Oh, we're perfect. Okay, so we're going to teach you this so that you walk away actually knowing something. I also want to let you know, as you see here, it says the greeting. There's this little link down on the bottom. It says click here to watch the video. Each of these pages takes you to a video that shows you somebody doing it and telling you where the points are. So it's a very easy system to learn on your own, though we do have classes in it also. We have all of our classes really are virtual unless you live here in Tucson. Or if you want to get a group of people together, Bev would love to come out and teach with you in person. So we're going to learn the greeting here. This is the key to the system. So you're going to want to take your index or your middle finger of your dominant hand. This is the only one where you have to use a particular hand. And it's the dominant hand. And like I say to the little kids, just show me the two fingers of the hand that you use crayons with. All right. You take that dominant hand and you're going to look for this point, what's called point 1. And you're going to take that two finger just below your breastbone and you're lightly going to touch in that soft tissue just below the breastbone, like a butterfly. And you're going to hold that just for 6 to 8 seconds. Okay? Now, again, the key would be if you can find somebody else to do it with you. If you have nobody around, then at least keep the relationship aspect of thinking of somebody doing it to you. Then you're going to take that same dominant hand from that point 1, and we're going to touch this point 2. If you follow your neck from the base of the skull down, it comes, and you lean your head forward, there's a big bone that pops out. You want to go to the left of that about just an inch to an inch and a half. BioTouch is not an exact science. It's not like acupuncture or those things you have to be exact. So somewhere to the left of that big bone is point 2. That's what we call the greeting. Again, here's some pictures of people doing it. Again, there's a click on the video. And then there's other sets of points where you're always going to use both hands. Okay? And just to make you familiar, again, you can watch the video if you want. Anytime you see an X, that's going to be one hand is going to stay stationary. It's not your dominant hand. It doesn't matter which hand. And the other point is going to go between those numbers that are shown there. Okay? And there's about 17 sets of points. We are area specific. We're not symptom specific. So if any lung problem you have, we're going to do the same set of points. Any brain problem, that could be dementia, could be depression, could be anxiety, could be ADHD, ADD, any of these things. You're always going to do the same set of points. And we're not thinking about anything. Okay, it's like I say to the teenagers, even jerks can do BioTouch, and I've proven it because I am one of the bigger jerks on the planet. Oh, everybody relaxes. Okay, so it's nice that I don't have to focus myself. I can be thinking about what I'm going to have for lunch or dinner. So the nice thing is you just have to do it. It's about putting love into action without having to think about it, without having to put a special space. If you have special spaces, that's fine. It doesn't matter, though. I can do it in front of the TV set if I want. So that's the basic key of BioTouch. I wanted to leave enough time for people to ask questions. So I don't know if people have questions, you can unmute yourself or put it in the chat here. I can see what we got. Yeah, I was noticing here that there's lots of techniques out there, okay? And we're not saying things are, all healing came from the same place. You can't say where healing came from. All that's different is the presentation. And all we're trying to do is keep the presentation as simple as the common denominator for all human beings. I guess I have to answer this. There's somebody who has their hand up. Francis, you needed to say something, or?
Hi, yes, thank you very much for the presentation. I was just wondering if along the way, your teacher, the gentleman in Colorado, or you notice any overlap or relationship to the energy system coming from the east,
You know, that's a good
either the
question.
chakra system or the acupuncture.
If you know those systems, you would say yes. But if you don't know those systems, you don't need to know them. Okay. And as I was saying, all healing came from the same place. The only thing that's different is its presentation. And you get 2 or 3 people to agree, oh, that works. And then you have a system. Okay. And even the chakra system, the energy systems, and all those are nice to understand, but they're not necessary in order to practice. If you know acupuncture, I've had many acupuncturists say, oh, well, these are acupuncture points. Well, yeah, they could be. I mean, that's if you know acupuncture. If you know anatomy, oh, well, this is working on the trifacial nerve that works on da. That's okay too. But what's important is that we don't have to know those things in order. And Norman did not know those things when the points were given to him. And then people always say, well, where do you get the points? Well, some people said he stole them from the Rosicrucians. Some people said he got them from the extraterrestrials. Some people said he got them from the angels. You know, it doesn't really matter. All that matters is for some reason it was given to this Western-minded mining engineer in the West at a time where, especially now, it's more than needed to bring harmony between all of us stuck here on this planet, so to speak. So I hope that helped.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Anybody, Helene, I guess, oh,
Yes.
raise your hand, just talk. Yeah.
Yes, Paul. Since you're talking about this subject, would you just say a few words about the Reiki, which does not touch the body at all? Yeah.
So if you go to our research page, our website is justtouch.com. And if you go to our research page, justtouch.com/research, again, justtouch.com, Kenna Stevenson actually, when she first did her research with BioTouch, very allopathic doctor in East Texas, very conservative community, working at the University of Texas at Tyler, got excited about BioTouch. So she went online and looked up the different kinds of healing techniques to relate it to BioTouch: Reiki, healing touch, therapeutic touch, and BioTouch. And what she found with all of them was they all had a hierarchy, basically. Most of them didn't necessarily touch on the body, but BioTouch had no hierarchy. There were no levels. And she related BioTouch to kangaroo touch, the touch of a mother with their baby, that we all know and need to survive on this planet. So yes, we always touch on the skin, and that's what distinguishes it. And we have no levels. The minute what you got today with the greeting, if all you did was the greeting and then somebody had a neck ache and you just touched, there'd be some kind of an effect. We don't know what that is, but at least there'd be a reduction in stress level. Anybody else have questions? I hope that these are answering your questions here.
Yes, they are. And Tuya has her hand up.
Oh, to you? Okay.
Yes, hello from Finland.
Hello, Finland.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment to this. We had in the beginning of last century a doctor, children's doctor, Dr. Aro Ylppö, who developed because he was this pioneering doctor in the healing of premature babies. And he developed the touch treatment because he discovered that if baby is away from the touch, they do not mature, they do not develop in healthy ways. So that is telling us that actually we need touch in order to live, in order to develop this whole body system. And that brings us to this completely new dimension to think about when we say that the human is not living only from the food or how it is said, but in every word that comes out from the mouth of God.
Yes. Yeah, and Dr. Stevenson talked about that research also, as far as the babies, the nourishment, and those kinds of things. Marianis, did you have something too? No?
Marianne, your hand is up. Marianis, your hand is up and you're open
And
your
you
mic.
are muted, Marianne. I see that you are talking, but we don't hear.
Yeah, something's still muted there. Maybe we can go on to Nasa.
Well, I was actually ran into somebody like years ago who was doing this, and I wasn't able to do the classes he was offering because I was working, which is my second point. I worked when I was working, I was doing mother baby nursing. And I had a baby who had been just born and had come out to the floor and went unstable. And the vital signs kept dropping, the oxygen kept dropping, the heart rate kept dropping. And I looked out, there was nobody to help me. So we were just learning about skin to skin. And so in a desperate moment, I put the baby in skin to skin and ran down the hall where I knew a doctor was sleeping, knocked on the door, got her, drug her down the hall, and the baby was fine. And I said, no, really. And I put the baby in the crib, and the baby totally went, did the same thing it did for me. Its oxygen saturation dropped terribly. And then the doctor looked, we gave the baby back to the mom. It all resolved. And so the bottom line, it went on, and she said her order was for the mother to do skin to skin until she came back, and she came back 2 hours later, and the baby was totally fine. And it was my come to moment about how important mom's loving touch, anybody's loving touch really is. I saw that in action, in documentable, on the monitors action. So
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Rose, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Rose, you had something?
Yeah, just real briefly, I loved your talk, Paul, and it's so synchronistic following after my talk on plasma, because what you're describing right here is the effect of bioplasma and the energy electrical nature of the body and the centers. And love is a force, an electrical force, as Helena had said, that we are these electrical beings, and so much of health can just be affected with a little injection of loving plasma. It's just, it's incredible, and more research and needs to be done on this. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, just so you all remember, I'm running out of time. Just want to share. So here's our website. This is the one I put link in the comments. It'll take you to this site. And again, if you want the workbook, it's down here on the bottom. There's also a way if you want to get the entire manual. Otherwise, here's the research link up here. And if you click on that, that'll take you to all that research that we have with Dr. Stevenson, a little presentation by her, also from our Egyptian practitioner, other research by Dr. Stevenson and Kent and Dr. Schwartz that we've done over the while. Again, research doesn't tell us why it works. It just tells us what's happening. Why it works, I think we're just going to always keep a mystery. I'm learn why it works. All I want to do is reach these two fingers out and hopefully be able to help another human being. And I hope you join us in passing this on to others. If you ever have questions too, you can always contact us at office, and I'll write it in here too, office@justtouch.com. That's a direct email link. Besides, you can go to the website and fill out the contact information.
So, Paul, before you close,
Sure.
yeah. So you still have a few minutes here.
Okay.
Yeah. So just based upon what you said, you mentioned in Egypt, and in one of your talks, you had said, this is anecdotal, but whatever. I mean, it struck me and might strike some people here about there in the hieroglyphs of Egypt. This could be going way back. It's irrelevant, but I don't know. There's power in it where they saw two fingers. Hieroglyphics. Pictorial images, two fingers in the biotouch. So this could be a very, very ancient system being in a way reincarnated for now. And so that segues into, I would love for you to say a few words about what your vision is, your mission is to get this all over the world. Just say a few words about that, if you will.
That's the mission. That's the vision, and I've dedicated 38 years of my life. And as Bev says, it's a divine idea whose time has come, and we just I just hold that space with Bev and the other practitioners and board members. We're a nonprofit tax-exempt organization. We always have been, and our goal is to get this into every hut on the planet. We have some people that have gone into the backwoods of different areas where they don't even have cell service to share this with people. So many people are starting to share it, and whatever any of you can do to help pass it on, that's the vision, and that's why I'm grateful that was given the opportunity to ring the bell.
Ring the bell, ring the bell. Let it sound all around the world. And so you're going to need to build more centers, right? Because not everybody can get to Tucson. And do you have a vision around that?
We don't need centers. What we need is our own center. All we need is people taking this into their home. I've seen a few couples on here. We just need people to learn it and take it home. We don't want to create a bureaucracy. It's as simple as that little manual. And at a certain point, now that it's an ebook version, we have $18 that helps pay for us to run the website. But at a certain point, we just want that manual and that little poster in every house, and we use that as a reminder of, hey, okay, I just hurt my elbow, mommy, can you touch me? So we don't need centers, we need people to do it. That's all.
Good. Excellent. I was just trying to make a distinction between those who are certified practitioners versus just everybody doing it, and I think that's the main point. Just do it.
Yeah, those certified practitioners, they're people who've taken our training and they want to represent in these early stages the purity. The most difficult part of growing is keeping it pure and simple, because everybody wants to add something to it. They want to make it complicated. So the only goal the foundation has right now is to keep it simple. Once everybody's got the program, we just shut down the organization. We don't need it.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much for being here with us today and igniting the spark in our minds and our hearts. And it's really spreading the word far and wide. And I think this is just another new avenue for you, for all of us. Thank you so much. Gratitude.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, appreciate you all. Thanks.
Thank you.